Hello fellow ass kickers, welcome to another episode of the Art of Kicking Ass Elegantly TV. I'm your host Michelle Hext. This week I'm going to talk to you about the goings on behind me and how it relates to business. Ladies, what you see behind me is a whole week's food prep. So I'm just going to move out of the way so you can have a little look. So what you'll see there are pre-portioned protein sources. I've got more than a dozen boiled eggs there. I've got chicken salads made up. I've got my spinach pre-portioned. I've got all of my protein shakes with the supplements in them ready to go. I've even portioned out the butter that I can have each day, and I've also got all of my nuts pre-packaged. So pretty much for the whole week, all I need to do is go to the fridge and grab stuff and run. I've got a really busy week coming up and I'm out a lot, and so if I want to stay on top of this new program that I'm doing, and I'll talk to you about that in a sec, then I know that I want to say 90 minutes prep, but I don't even think it took me that long. It was probably even a little bit under an hour actually to get all of my meals done. And so you might be wondering why this is related to business. Well, the Art of Kicking Ass Elegantly isn't just about building your empire, it's also about you as an entrepreneur. And I've spoken about this before, but what we know for sure is that when we feel really good about the way we look and when our energy levels are great, it has a really positive impact on our business. So we want to be putting our best foot forward, and that means looking our best, feeling our best, and fueling our body properly and moving it in a way that's going to energize us. Being an entrepreneur, it's a bit of a roller coaster. We have really, really high highs and we can have some pretty devastating lows sometimes as well. And we need to be fueled up to be able to deal with that. And also, when we need to go out or when we want to, shoot a video or something like that, we want to be able to just go to our wardrobe, look at what's in there and know that we're going to look good wearing it, regardless of what it is. And that's regardless of your size too, dressing for your size and feeling good, whatever, is a comfortable size for you. So if you read my book, you'll see that in the chapter in there that I speak about fitness, that, I used to have a very strict way that I ate. And that came from my taekwondo competition years, where I had to be a certain weight. So, and I also had to have a lot of fuel in my body to train really, really well. Sparring's tough at the best of times, and if you're not fueled right, it makes it 100 times harder. So, I made sure that my nutrition was good for those purposes. And I just kept eating that way. And then I met Dave, and he loves food. Loves to cook, loves wine. And so the pendulum swung a little bit the other way for me. And then I found a really happy balance where, I wasn't eating pre-prepared meals so much anymore, and I was just much more relaxed about it. And, it didn't make much of a difference to my body. It was, instead of being 100% strict all the time, I was much more relaxed. I didn't think too much about my menu for the week. I just sort of go with what I felt like eating, and it was great, and I'm hoping to get back to that very soon. But with my hip surgery, what had happened was, leading up to my hip surgery, I wasn't very mobile, so I wasn't allowed to, I couldn't train very much, so the weight started to go on a little bit. And then, 2 weeks of no training at all after my surgery, I'm not feeling awesome. I probably got, not even sure that I put on weight so much, but I know I've lost a little bit of muscle and I'm just feeling a bit bleh, so I need to get on track. So I've signed up with a trainer and I'm doing what's called biosignature modulation. So we did all of the testing last Thursday and I started it today. And so all of the meals behind me are part of this. And so for the first 2 weeks is 0 carbs. If you research biosignature modulation, you'll see that they test 12 sites with the calipers, and those 5 sites give 5 indicators about what's going on hormonally within your body and trying to reduce these numbers through diet and through training. So for me, the first phase of this thing is to get carbs out of my system so that we can reintroduce them and sort of find out what is tolerable for me. What's a good amount of carbs and what types of carbs should I be eating so that I feel great and, my body, my hormones are working the way that they should based on that. Research it. It's awesome stuff, and I'm really excited about it. But for me, and how this relates to business, it's getting there in the end, is that when I am about to launch something, I have a plan. I do some research and then I put together a bit of a plan of action, and then I just work the plan. And I apply this to my getting back in shape as well. Created the plan, went and spoke to somebody who was going to give me some accountability around it, and also give me the science and the science behind it, really, so that I understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. That's how I operate. I need to know if I'm doing something, I need to know why I'm doing it and what the outcome's going to be. And so for me, it's very much like when I roll out a launch. It's do the research, formulate a plan, set the date that the plan starts, and then follow the plan. And that's what I'm doing. And so if you've been struggling to take care of yourself in your well-being and you're not looking or feeling the way that you want to, think about how you go about this. If it was a business, what would you do? How would you go about implementing a plan that will get you from A to B? And, you've got the tools, you've got the resources. Online these days, there are so many freebies. I'm luckily for me, I'm in a position where I'm able to, pay someone to give me the accountability and some, a really good plan to follow. But you don't need to do that. There's a lot of stuff. There's bodybuilding.com. There's a lot of free stuff out there. And whatever it is that you choose to get you back in shape or to feel more healthy, stick at it. That's the thing that happens too often, where women, they start something and then they look over there and think, oh, maybe that's a better thing that I should be doing, or maybe that'll be a little bit easier, or whatever it is. But, determine what it is that you're going to do, stick at it and work the plan. So for me, I'm on this program for 12 weeks to get my body fat back where it needs to be. It's probably only going to be 4 or 5 weeks for me. But the 12 weeks will be great because it'll just really reinforce the learning over and over and over again. So what I'm hoping that you get from this video is number one, it's important to look and feel great, because if you don't, it's going to affect your business. And in tandem with that is the energy that comes from looking and feeling great. So really important to make sure that you feel awesome all the time and you have a lot of energy, because if you've got that behind you, it gives you much more push, in your business. It gives you the energy and the drive to be able to, the stuff that crops up that can sometimes seem overwhelming, it seems smaller when you're in a really good space. And also that, you create plans all the time and you work them. Just apply this same thing to your well-being and see what happens. Have an awesome week, and I'll be back next week. Bye.